Indingu Indidaka. Unyanakan Jogu. Huh?
Unyanakan Jogu.
Hey, my man, can I help you? Let me get the autograph. Nah, I ain't signing no. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for driving all the way out here.
The part of the interview they didn't show.
The path that you're on, things that you go through, you know, those transformative years when you're a child and you're a kid, whatever childhood trauma that you may be carrying with you that may be too painful to look at or not wanting to address or wanting to ignore, that eventually is going to catch up to you if you don't address it. I think the idea of masculinity and what it is about talking about your feelings and your emotions, and especially from, brother to brother, from man to man, being frowned upon a little bit and looked at as weak and less than a man in certain eyes, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? I think it actually makes you stronger, to be able to atone and be accountable for your actions and to tell your brother that you love him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, and simple things like that, and how much more of a full human you'll be.
He's been called one of the most talented actors of his generation. From his breakout role in The Wire to global superstardom in Creed and Black Panther, MichaelBJordan has built a career defined by power, precision, and presence. But behind every punch thrown in the ring and every line delivered on screen is a story of struggle, perseverance, and vision. This is the life of MichaelBJordan. MichaelBJordan was born on February 9, 1987, in Santa Ana, California, to Donna and Michael A. Jordan. His middle name, Bakari, means noble promise in Swahili, and it turned out to be a fitting prophecy. When Michael was still young, the family relocated to Newark, New Jersey, a place known for its grit, challenges, and strong cultural roots. Michael's mother was a high school career counselor and his father, a caterer. He was raised in a stable and loving household, the second of 3 children. Newark was tough, and violence wasn't uncommon, but Michael avoided the pitfalls of the street through a strong family foundation, education, and eventually performance.
The importance of family and what that means, my parents have different upbringings, what I'm saying, from, and different family structures growing up. But one thing they've always provided us with is just a sense of family over everything, and how important that is. And that just kind of kept the groundedness to me throughout. So I think just the experiences of just family.
Jordan didn't plan on becoming an actor. He started modeling for companies like Models and Toys R Us. And by the age of 12, he found himself cast in small roles in shows like The Sopranos and Cosby. But it was in 2002 that he landed a part that changed everything: Wallace in HBO's groundbreaking series, The Wire. Though he only appeared in the first season, his emotional performance as a teenage drug dealer trying to escape the game made a lasting impression. Critics and audiences alike noticed the young actor with a raw and authentic presence. Following The Wire, Jordan took on the role of Reggie Porter on All My Children, where he stayed for 3 years. He became a familiar face in households across America and continued honing his craft. In 2009, he joined the cast of Friday Night Lights as Vince Howard. His portrayal of a troubled but talented quarterback showcased his emotional range and charisma. It was clear MichaelBJordan wasn't just a rising star. He was a force in the making.
Friday Night Lights was the first time I really started to okay, you want me to have my shirt off? I'm in a tank top a little bit more. I'm an athlete. Oh, okay, cool. Obviously I've already, competed in high school and played basketball and organized sports and all that good stuff. So I think there was a certain level of fitness that came with just being competitive and having to be in some type of shape. But then once I started to kind of, this is going to be on TV. Oh, this is a movie. Oh, okay, posters. Okay, your marketing shoots. Oh man, okay, I gotta really start to treat my body like a business, and I think that kind of kicked into another level of fitness for myself.
In 2013, Jordan's career took another major leap forward with his role as Oscar Grant in Fruitvale Station, directed by Ryan Coogler. The film told the real-life story of a young Black man killed by police in Oakland, California. Jordan's powerful and nuanced performance was widely acclaimed, marking him as a serious leading man. That performance began a long and fruitful collaboration with Coogler. In 2015, Jordan starred as Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed, in Creed, a continuation of the Rocky franchise. His physical transformation and emotional depth made the film a box office hit and a critical success.
I'll be fighting full time now, so I want to tell you face to face.
You are your father's son, then you're part of him, but it doesn't mean you have to be him.
I heard about a third fight between you and Apollo. Behind closed doors. That true?
How'd you hear about that?
Who won?
It's kind of a secret. What'd you say your name was?
Done.
If Creed elevated Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther launched him into superstardom. In 2018, Jordan played Eric Killmonger, the complex villain in Marvel's revolutionary blockbuster. His performance was magnetic, a rare villain whose pain and ideology earned sympathy. The film became a cultural milestone, and Jordan's role was key to its emotional weight. Audiences and critics hailed him as one of the best villains in the MCU. More importantly, Jordan became a symbol of representation, power, and talent.
You did Black Panther as well. You had to, did you say you had to go to therapy to kind of pull yourself out of that? I know it can't just be 3, 2, 1 action and you just, and fall right out.
There's no blueprint to it. I think for me, I take every job as a learning experience, and I try to learn something from each one. I try to grow and I try to grow. And I never knew that I had to come out of a character. That was the first time I was actually like not feeling like myself. And I was like, man, I'm like depressed. I'm super like emotional. I'm like non-emotional rather, and for where I kind of had to go for like Eric Killmonger, like that was a guy that I really kind of cut off a lot of emotions and love, from a lot of people. I was isolated for a long time before I actually started filming. And then coming out of it, I had to I had to get used to being around family members and friends and being normal and talking about regular stuff. It was a whole different thing, and therapy definitely helped me. And that was, I remember talking to Jamie about it, what I'm saying? Talking to other people that, who've went through something similar. It opened up so much communication and understanding between the continent and here in the States, amongst our community and people, that I don't know if that movie doesn't get made. I'm not sure if that conversation is happening right now. In recent years, you have the year of the return. In Ghana, you have you see a lot of much more tourism, much more visits and vacations back to Africa since that movie came out. There's change that can't be quantified, because of that movie. And I feel extremely privileged to be a part of it.
In 2025, Michael B. Jordan took on one of his most ambitious roles to date in Sinners, a genre-defying film directed by Ryan Coogler. Set in 1932 Mississippi, Jordan portrays twin brothers Elijah Smoke and Elias Stack, World War I veterans who return to their hometown to open a juke joint, aiming to create a sanctuary for their community amidst the oppressive Jim Crow era. Their endeavor, however, takes a dark turn as they confront supernatural forces, including a vampire named Remick, portrayed by Jack O'Connell. The film masterfully blends historical realism with horror, using vampirism as a metaphor for cultural appropriation and historical trauma. The juke joint becomes a battleground between preserving Black cultural identity and confronting external threats. Sinners received critical acclaim for its bold storytelling, rich production design, and Jordan's compelling dual performance. The film grossed over $283 million worldwide, becoming one of the highest-grossing films of 2025. Its soundtrack, featuring legends like Buddy Guy and contemporary artists such as Rhiannon Giddens, sparked renewed interest in blues music, introducing the genre to a new generation. This film not only showcased Jordan's versatility as an actor, but also highlighted his commitment to projects that challenge societal narratives and celebrate Black heritage.
Michael B. Jordan, and this is a Hollywood Issue. Man, I think being able to be one person in 1 minute and then literally, have an excuse to have a totally different personality the next. I think, going back and forth between serious and more playful, I think as humans, we often
you know, you're either in one mood or you're in another, you know? So for me, I got a chance to kind of go just back and forth and interact with the same people different ways. Oh man, it's been incredible. I mean, honestly, you know, there's nothing like going to a movie theater, especially when they don't know you're there and they're reacting to moments and parts in the film that you're not really sure how it's going to play, you know, when you're making it and you don't know if that moment's going to land, or are they going to laugh, are they going to jump, you know, are they getting emotional? But to hear people talk to the screen and talk to one another and see people like tapping each other like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you know, it was a surreal moment. It was pretty cool. It depends on what character I was getting, you know, which brother I was getting ready to play. A lot of James Brown, Roy Hargroves, another person, Wynton Marsalis, Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know what I'm saying? Listen to a lot of Bone Thugs, a lot of blues too, man. You know, it was, you know, the backdrop, you know, the kind of like the heartbeat of our film was the blues music. You know, Smoke wore his trauma differently. He kind of closed up a bit. So, you know, Smoke is, you know, a man of few words. And that's what we kind of understood a lot amongst identical twins, twin brothers that, you know, are around each other a lot. One is more dominant in certain areas than the other. If you're always with your brother and you know your brother usually does most of the talking, you naturally don't talk that much because, you know, your brother's taking care of most of that. So finding out those little details was a lot of fun and very informing on just the process. But, you know, Smoke, you know, had a heaviness to him that I kind of wore that took time to get off. And Stack was a lot lighter. You know, he smiled through his pain. You know, he smiled through his trauma. He talked his way through it. He, you know, had a lot more things to do and say and to deflect, to not sit still and let those feelings and those traumas kind of catch up to him. So Stack was always kind of like, he's always on the move, always kind of fleeing from things.
Beyond acting, Jordan has stepped behind the camera. He launched his production company, Outlier Society, to create opportunities for underrepresented voices. His company adopted an inclusion rider for all of its projects, a commitment to diversity in hiring both in front of and behind the camera. In 2023, Jordan made his directorial debut with Creed 3, returning as Adonis Creed and steering the franchise forward. The film was a success, proving that his vision extended well beyond acting.
Since we're all talking about Michael B. Jordan at the moment, I would just like to add to the narrative the fact that he and his production company Outlier Society are responsible for so many book-to-screen adaptations. Michael B. knows where the good stuff is, and he knows that it is in literature. Not only is Outlier Society the production company behind the series adaptation of Fourth Wing, yes, they are also adapting books like The House of Last Resort, which is a horror novel, and Victory is Greater Than Death, which is the first in a YA sci-fi trilogy. They also bought the rights to an unpublished short story called The Dwelling, which I believe was written kind of as a script in a way. Like, I think its entire point was to be turned into a film. Most excitingly, if you ask me, is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. They have the rights to that one as well. They've already made a film out of Fahrenheit 451 that came out quite a few years ago now. I believe it may have flopped, but it doesn't even matter because they are working on some fantastic looking stuff, and we love a production company that knows where the good material is in these things.
Today, Michael B. Jordan is more than a Hollywood star. He's a role model, a businessman, and a cultural icon. From the streets of Newark to the global stage, his journey is a testament to the power of talent, discipline, and purpose. Whether he's throwing punches in the ring, bringing social issues to light through storytelling, or creating opportunities for the next generation, Michael B. Jordan continues to redefine what it means to be a modern leading man. This has been the life of Michael B. Jordan, a noble promise fulfilled. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe for more inspiring stories and in-depth features on your favorite stars.